Hi friends, welcome back. As you may have noticed, I do not have an intro for this video because like I mentioned in the end of 601, I watched both 601 and 602 together as one large episode. I was told that's how it aired originally, so I wanted to stay true to that. So this is my 602 intro just to say we're watching Bargaining Part 2. Make sure you click, whatever my channel to go watch Part 1 if you haven't yet. And we should head into this episode. It's a good one. It's a big one. And at the end of this video, we will discuss both Bargaining Part 1 and 2. So that's exciting. And like I mentioned in my last video, I have a poll up right now because I'm going to time this correctly. I'm going to do that right. So if you check my Patreon right now, there should be a post that must have just been published, which is going to be a poll for you guys to help me decide what show I should watch next because I am real-time Domi. Hi, I'm future Domi. I forgot to say that. Did I say that? Hi, it's me, future Domi. I'm about 5 episodes away from finishing Buffy, which is insane. I'm at the end of season 7. So I'm trying to decide what show I'm going to react to when I'm done with Buffy very soon. And so make sure to join my Patreon if you want to vote in the poll. I'm going to have it up right now with all of the top suggestions that you guys gave me over the last week. And yeah, so make sure to join my Patreon if you want to help me choose the next show. And I'm just gonna let past Domi take over and continue having a mental breakdown over bargaining. So yeah guys, see you soon.
My God. I'm sure the woods will give us cover. Their motorcycles can't follow us in here.
Someone should tell them that.
New plan. Let's split up.
No.
God, she can't even.
I'll take her.
No, I can carry her. I'll keep her saved.
God, look at Willow. I can't cope with this right now. Oh God. This is so claustrophobic, I can't look.
No, we have to try again.
We can't.
We have to, Xander. She's waiting. She's counting on us, on me. I can't leave her there anymore. Broken. It's broken. Remember.
So we'll find another one. Better made. Anya and I will jump back into the web.
There is no other one.
It's okay, she's okay. Somebody tell her she's okay.
It's gone. Nothing. It's all for nothing. Buffy's gone. She's really gone.
Yeah, not a great idea. Fuck. God, that scene with Willow. I can't.
But we need to wait for the others, and Buffy. Bot. You know, the Buffybot.
I get that you're scared, but I'm your sitter, so mind me. I'm not gonna let any of those buggers lay so much as a warty digit on you.
Holy shit, she really got herself out. Oh my God. Holy fucking shit. Let's go, Buffy. Oh, she doesn't look too great, but it's okay. Probably just trauma, right? She's fine. Please find Willow. I need Willow to know that you're okay, Buffy.
Oh, thank God. No, I mean, my store hasn't been looted.
Yet.
And if something happened, I'd know. And so would you. You think? I'm sure of it. They're fine. Willow and I always know how to find each other.
Okay. Oh my god, okay.
Yoga? Shh. Hear my words.
Okay.
How come you didn't tell us how much?
Oh no.
What were we into back there, Will?
Doesn't matter anyway.
Do not get all avoidy on me.
I'm not avoiding. We have bigger problems. So what's that?
See? Avoidy.
Over there, that light.
Tara, she's
one moving
coming
towards
for
us?
Willow.
Incredibly fast.
Xander, it's not a bug. It's Tara. Come on.
That's so cute, and that's so powerful, and it's so cool, and I love that. God, I wonder who's gonna see Buffy first. Somebody needs to find her. She's not okay. Nice.
Anya.
Please tell me it's Buffy.
Xander?
Oh. Okay, that's okay, that's okay. Buffy's still coming. She's coming. It's fine. We're fine.
You're looking a little magicked out.
On, honey, we're nearing your point, right?
It's just, how are we supposed to fight these guys?
With Buffy.
We need...
Buffy.
She's
Buffy.
coming, guys!
He's not coming back. We failed.
A symbolic act commemorating the new order around here and ridding ourselves of any not so pleasant reminders of the old. Gentlemen,
Buffy, get the fuck out of there!
start your engines.
Oh. Rest in pieces, Buffybot.
Another one for the fired boys.
Oh God. God. Why couldn't you just, I don't know, Buffy, just be fine, please, God, fuck.
I'm not saying we announce it the second.
Anya.
Well, I think it would please them to know we're engaged. And I think Willow in particular could use a real morale booster right now.
Can we talk about this later?
This is it, you know. No more surprises.
Watch it.
It's the Buffybot.
Ah, Peachy. No doubt to lead the Wild Bunch right to us again.
Willow knows.
Buffy? Buffy!
Buffy!
Buffy! Where is she?
I can't believe Willow just looks at her and knows.
What's wrong with her? Nothing. She's in shock. Her hands are bleeding. Her fingers.
We brought you back to life, Buffy. Right where we left her.
Oh, God.
In her coffin.
She had to dig out of her own grave.
We're sorry. We didn't know.
Here's some good news that might perk you right up. Xander and I have an announcement.
She's so excited about it.
We brought you back. You're home now. Yeah. That's it. You're home.
Yeah. Welcome home, Slayer.
Oh
Alive
God,
and
fuck right
kicking
off.
After all.
Nice.
So you got a witch in the mix.
More than one.
I happen to be a very powerful man-witch myself.
Then you'd be wrong.
Whoa. Well, I better back off or you might what? Pull a rabbit out of a hat?
Don't do that. Why would you do that?
Look, we don't want trouble. You don't want trouble.
I get your point.
Oh, you fucking asshole.
Except that certain of my boys got some
Ooh, is she gonna snap?
anatomical incompatibilities that, who wants to go first? I was really hoping it'd be you.
Oh. Come on. She's gonna... Come on. That's right. Okay. That's my Buffy.
Does this mean we win?
I feel like this is the moment where regular Buffy would have a line of like, who's next, you know what I mean? But she can't even speak right now. She's that traumatized. She can't make her little jokes. Okay, okay. We got this. I mean, Buffy's got this. Oh, thank God she's back, man.
It's just a machine, Dawn.
Oh, creepy. Okay.
Dawn. You're my sister, Dawn. Where did I go? Not me. The other Buffy. Yes. The other Buffy.
Buffy?
I don't know where she ran off to. Maybe.
Just die? Don't die halfway through the sentence. That's so mean. Come back to us, Buffybot.
Put those filthy buggers down, dude.
Hello, Mr. Babysitter. How about you look at your baby who's running away? Oh, Dawn. Where are you running to, kid? What's the plan?
Well, they wanted a massacre.
She's Buffy. She's herself again. You're back, Buffy. You really are. Whoa.
Poor Buffy.
Buffy!
Don't show me that.
I'm too scared.
Holy shit, Willow. How did she still manage to do a spell after all that? I already told you not to show me that place. Don't do that to Tara. Nope. Let her go.
Witch. Well, let's see what tricks you can manage while I choke the life out of
Oh, they saved
Nobody
each
messes
other.
with my girl.
Oh, you guys.
Tara, nice acting.
My first.
Oh, congratulations. Stop showing me the goddamn fucking cursed place. No, she wouldn't go back there. They're not gonna do the same scene. Don't show me Dawn arriving there. Don't do it. Just don't do it. And the same song.
No. Donnie, I have to.
Buffy?
How?
Is it you? I mean, really? What do you...
Are you kidding?
No!
What, Buffy?
Don't jump, Buffy. Don't move.
Turn around, Buffy.
I'm your sister. Dawn. We were up here together, and then he went away. And you don't want to do that again.
I need her to say
Talk
something.
to me.
Yes, please.
Say something. Is this hell? No! Buffy, no! Whatever happened to you, whatever you've been through, it's over now. listen to me. You told me I had to be strong. And I've tried, but it's been so hard without you. I promise I'll do better. I will. If you're with me, I need you to live. Live. For... Buffy!
Dawn.
Buffy!
Dawn!
It's Buffy, she's back. Okay, maybe not how we wanted this to happen. Okay, thank God that tower's gone. I didn't want to look at it one more fucking time.
Buffy? Buffy. You're really here. You're alive. And you're home.
She's so traumatized. Oh my God. What a freaking, like, oh my God. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit.
Sure, arg.
Okay, I mean... okay. Okay. Well, she's back. Okay. I'll take that, honestly. That's a win in my book. I'll take it. I'll fucking take it. Thank God. Thank God she's back. I mean, does she seem a little bit emotionally scarred and like broken and extremely traumatized? Yes, but I mean, she died. She was buried alive. It's a lot, so. Okay. I need to go back for a second. I need to rewatch, not the intro, but because I know, like, I'm so sorry, but my main concern right now is not actually Buffy, because I know that Buffy's gonna, like, we're gonna find a way to get her back. My biggest concern is actually Giles, because I didn't see him in the intro, and it seems like he left, and I know that Willow said something along the lines of, like, you know, if Buffy comes back, Giles comes back, which was, like, yeah, totally, 100%, except... he's not in the intro, so that's worrying me. And I thought that maybe they were gonna pull something kind of like how they did in Angel, where like special guest star Alison Hannigan or something, like after the episode. I thought they were gonna pull something like that, so it was like they were messing with the intro to make us think that he was leaving, but he was not actually leaving. But his name didn't show up in the end, so right now I want to rewatch the first, like right after the intro, because usually they'll put like the guest stars after the intro, but I look away because I never want to get spoiled in case somebody's coming back and stuff like that. So we are not getting rid of Giles. We are not. So I'm going to rewatch this intro for the third time, make sure he's not fucking here. Because what is happening? Why would we get rid of Giles? I'm a little bit concerned. Okay, see, there's no Giles. There's no fucking Giles. But let's see if he's gonna show up in the beginning of the episode. Stop showing me Buffy killing herself. Please stop. Okay. Special guest star Anthony Stewart Head? Fuck, this sucks. This means he's not a series regular anymore. He's not a series regular? What do you mean Giles is not a series regular? This is not okay. This is not okay. This is not okay. Oh my God. I think Giles is actually leaving. I figured that if, like, Anthony Stewart had wanted to leave, that they would have killed him off in Spiral, right? Because I think that's the episode where Giles got hurt, and I was, like, genuinely worried that he was going to die. And then in the moment where he didn't die, I was like, okay, great, that means that they plan on, like, keeping Giles around. But if, like, if he's a special guest star, if he's not a fucking series regular anymore, and if Giles left to England, then I guess we're losing Giles. Not like this. I mean, not, it would be worse if he had died, but I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with this, because if he was gonna come back, you know, in like a few episodes, I'm sure that he would still be in the intro, because you know, they could work that around his contract or whatever. But if he's a special guest star, then that means he's not planning on sticking around for good. Why, Giles? Why? I need Giles. He's like, you know, he's our, like, he's Giles. I don't want to lose him. You know, one of the things that I was talking about that I was most curious to seeing about how they were going to handle, you know, this episode, is that I wanted to see who was going to be taking care of Dawn. And like I said, I thought it was either going to be Giles or Willow. And then I guess it was a little bit of a surprise that it was Willow and Tara. Like, Tara honestly hadn't even come to my mind, just because, you know, something that I had been discussing. Fuck, we're going into the teletalk like 1 minute into the discussion. This is bad because we're gonna go down a spiral, but it's okay. Something that I was talking about at the end of the last season is that it still felt like Tillo was like in their honeymoon phase almost, whereas, you know, Xander and Anya had grown to a level where we were seeing them be a little bit more like domestic, a little bit more like, you know, just living with each other. They're just more grown up. It's not about them like falling in love. Like, Tillo still felt a little bit more like romantic in the sense of like, you know, it still felt like they were in the process of falling in love. And, you know, something that I said was that I was hoping that in this season we were actually going to see Tara and Willow become a little bit more like Xander and Anya in that way, you know, get a little bit more serious. And I would say that like adopting a child, hi Dawn, is pretty damn romantic. Like, that's pretty damn serious. They're living together. I mean, all of it. But I do have to say that Giles not being involved in that is quite big. And I like, it makes sense that this would be a way to like write him off, I guess. If Buffy gone, he's gone. But Buffy's back. Buffy's back. I mean, guys. Giles, don't do this to me. I can't get Buffy back and lose Giles. This is not a trade that I agreed to. Nobody consulted me about this. You know what? I'm gonna try and like stop stressing out about this. I'm just gonna like chill out. I'm gonna chill out. Because, you know, something that I'm thinking of now is that Michelle, right, like Dawn, was not in the credits for the first episode because they wanted it to be a surprise, right? So maybe they took Anthony Stewart Head's name from the intro from the first episode so that it would be a surprise when he comes back. I'm trying to convince myself that this is what's happening, but if I'm being totally honest, I don't think this is what's happening. I think Anthony Stewart Head might be leaving the show. And, you know, I respect him for wanting to move on, do his things if this is what's happening. Definitely very curious to watch the next episode, though, to, like, see how that's going to happen. I do want to see, you know, right now, how we're going to be coping with Buffy coming back. Because, I mean, I figured that there was going to be a big level of trauma. You know, coming back from the dead, it can't be easy. But I have to say that she felt a lot more traumatized than what I expected. You know, I think her memory was definitely coming back in, like, pieces, you know, and I think that she was struggling a lot with, like, the basics. Like, I don't know, like, so many shots of her actually really reminded me of Beer Bad Buffy. Like, I was really just waiting for Porker to show up at a certain moment so that she could beat him up. You know, it's just like, it felt like that version of Buffy, that like primal version of like, she has the instincts to like protect Dawn, for example, but I don't think she's fully aware of what's happening, you know. And it's gonna be interesting to see how long it might take her to like, I want to say go back to normal, but like, what if she never does? Like, I mean, I don't think she will be able to fully go back to normal. You know, I think that like something that I really, really enjoyed about Prophecy Girl is that like we were always talking about that. We never like skipped through the trauma and made it seem like Buffy was totally okay with the fact that she died. We kept going back to it. And in Prophecy Girl, she was gone for like, what, 5 minutes, 10, you know what I mean? And I mean, probably less. And here, you know, she was gone for 2 to 3 months, right? So I can only imagine that trauma multiplied by a lot. So of course I figured that there was going to be a big part of it being Buffy dealing with this trauma, but I do have to say that the way she's dealing right now makes it seem like she's never fully going to be able to go back to normal, which is understandable, but really hurts me to like see Buffy this way. I understand why they wouldn't run after her. I understand that she might need her space, but at the same time, I feel like she's gonna need the supports to get through it. Like, I don't know. Should we like push her a little bit and like, you know, try and help her? Should we really just let her do things on her own? I don't freaking know. I really don't know. But, you know, there's just like an immense relief in knowing that like they were actually just able to get her back. Because I mean, I figured, obviously this is Buffy's show, I figured she was going to be coming back. I think that, you know, what killed me about watching the Gift episode was not that I was worried that Buffy was not going to come back. I think I talked about this. I think the sacrifice is what got to me. I think her giving her life up for her sister is what really kills me about that episode. Because of course, even though we know she might come back, it hurts to know that she didn't know that. You know, she was just willing to sacrifice herself, and the other characters didn't know that. You know, something that was really, really hard to watch this episode. Alison Hannigan, as always, every single time she cries, I mean, she does such a great job with Willow. I just think that, like, I really think everybody gave up hope except for Willow. I mean, I think Giles definitely gave up hope, which is understandable. I feel like he's the oldest, he's the more mature, so of course I think he would be the one to understand. I mean, Jenny, I think he understands grief probably the best, and so therefore he knows that there's not much to do about it other than just, like, cut right to acceptance. Not that it was that easy. But, you know, I would understand that Willow would be the one who stuck with it the most because, you know, I think that while Xander, Anya, and Tara were very supportive over Willow's plan, I'm not sure they actually believed in it that much. I think they were more realistic about the fact that, like, there is a very real possibility that Buffy is gone and, like, there's nothing to do about it. Whereas I really feel like Willow was the one who kept them going with, like, that thread of hope. Of like, I can get her back. I know that I can get her back. I mean, she was making promises. She was that certain. Which again, like, I think is actually really, really amazing character progress for Willow. Because I think that's something that we've established, you know, from season 1. Is that I do think Willow has some confidence issues. You know, I don't think she realizes how awesome and cool she is. And so I just feel like it's nice to see her start believing in herself so much. Knowing that she's powerful enough to bring somebody back from the dead. Is pretty awesome, Willow, you know, and the fact that she was willing to go through no matter the consequences, you know, like, I just thought it was so beautiful. I think that, like, even if we might not have seen a lot of, like, Buffy and Willow scenes this episode, I would say that relationship and Buffy and Dawn, of course, were the two relationships that really stood out to me this episode, that really moved me. Dawn, you know, seeing her attachment to Robot Buffy because she didn't, no, you guys call her Buffybot, I got this. Seeing her attachment to Buffybot and seeing how hard it was for her to give up on that, and I think she still had not necessarily hope, but I just don't think she was ready to let go, which is, like, you know, why she was going to lay in the bed with Buffybot even if she knows it's not her sister. I think it just, like, brings a level of comfort. I still can't believe they really brought Buffybot into this, by the way. I feel like it was already such a shock to me that they really went ahead and made a Buffybot in the first place, and the fact that, like, she keeps coming back. I really thought the finale was it, like, right? Like, I thought she was just broken. Like, I don't know. It didn't even occur to me that they would be trying to keep up appearances. Oh, I do have to say, when they were talking about, like, keeping up the appearances for Buffy's dad not to come and take Dawn away. First of all, that's, like, I'm really glad that they were doing that, because really I can't imagine how horrible it would be for Dawn if she had to go live with this, like, you know, father that she barely knows. But also the way that they were talking about it, I actually really, really thought that the episode was maybe going to end, or that, like, at some point in the episode I was kind of expecting Buffy's father to show up. I don't know, I just, like, the way that they were talking about him and the fact that he was actually calling, made me wonder if we're actually going to see him again, because I think that, like, the way that we were talking about it in the last season, I think they were definitely open to bringing the character back. And I think Willow was doing such a great job being in charge. You know, even before they verbally said that she's the one who's in charge, I think she felt in charge from the start, you know? Even just, like, the intro, her literally being in sort of a pedestal looking over everyone and, like, sort of commanding them, like, oh, you go do this, you go do that, and the fact that it was working. Which, by the way, that power is incredibly cool. The fact that she can just, like, you know, just, what? I want Willow to talk to me, like, in my head. I mean, it would be a little bit creepy, but, like, I think both her and Tara were being so witchy this episode in the coolest of ways. I think that we're getting to see their powers so much more. And I think that we're going to have to lean into that even more in this season. Because I feel like there's got to be consequences for what they did. I feel like there's no way that it's like, oh yeah, we can bring somebody back from the dead, no biggie. And I think that's a part of my discussion when I was talking about season 6 predictions, is that I thought that maybe the season 6 big bad could be like a consequence, you know, whatever consequence they have to pay for bringing Buffy back. In a similar way that I think Glory might be like the reason Glory might have existed, I think maybe has to do with them defeating Adam and doing that spell. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like it would make sense. You know, if Glory was the outcome of that, then we're gonna have to deal with the outcome of bringing Buffy back to life, because I don't think this is something that's gonna be easy. God, I'm like, there's so much to process. Is it bad if I go back to Tara and Willow? I can't stop thinking about them this episode. There was a kiss, which to me is already like, you know, a shock, because even though they kissed in the body episode, everybody told me how hard Giles had to fight for that. And to me, I actually thought that was going to be their only kiss. You know, I thought that like he would put all his effort into getting them that one kiss. And I was like, I sort of came to terms with the fact that they were not going to kiss again, just because it felt like there were so many moments where they could have led up to a kiss and they didn't. And I figured, you know, like, oh, you know, they can't, you know, it's just like hard to convince the network. But now that I'm thinking about it, they're in a new network, right? So maybe this new network is more gay friendly. So maybe we're going to get a little bit more PDA from Patillo, which I think is adorable. But it was so incredible. Like, I can't get over the fact that they really sort of like were living like as if they were a married couple, you know, they were like taking care of the kids and like, you know, just like helping and loving each other and supporting each other. Like, I'm really, really surprised that Tara was so supportive about bringing Buffy back. Like, I genuinely expected everybody, even Giles, to be helping this process, that they would all be in agreement, that they would do whatever it took to bring Buffy back. And I really thought Tara would be like the level-headed one who would like try and convince them that this was not the way. And she actually seems to be the one who believed in it the most, other than Willow, of course. But, you know, I think that Anya and Xander clearly showed to have their doubts, and the fact that she would fight for this because she trusts Willow that much and because she knows that Willow needs this, I think is like so supportive. Like, she's being such a supportive girlfriend, you know, she's putting aside her own, I guess, like judgments and fears and really just doing what she thinks is best for Willow. Curious to see what we're gonna do now, you know, because I feel like this episode was like the conclusion that I needed for the gift. I think the reason that I was so anxious these 3 months waiting to see this episode is that it definitely didn't feel like a conclusion. It felt like there were things that we needed to discuss and like get over, like bringing Buffy back to life. And now I feel like I can rest easier knowing that like she's back. We're okay. I mean, we're not like 100% okay, but we're as okay as we can be right now. And that is absolutely a win in my book. And so I do think I feel calmer now. I think that gave me a lot of conclusion. My heart feels lighter and I'm like extremely moved by this ending. Like, I think that like this, like just this last scene with Dawn right now, the parallels to the gift were so like hard to watch. You know, the fact that they would bring back the same song, like the score this episode was amazing. Everything is so well done. And then the fact that they would bring back the exact same score at the end of the episode, you know, to when Buffy died, it just like it puts you right back in those feelings, you know, looking at it and even seeing the flashbacks. If the score gets to a point where it calls my attention, then it's got to be really, really good. You know, seeing the parallels, seeing Buffy, you know, she's so hurt, you know. I think Sarah Michelle Gellar is such a great actress. You know, she didn't speak for like the second half of the episode since they brought back real Buffy. You know, she couldn't speak and her eyes were telling me everything I needed to know. And she's such a great actress that to the point, like the way that she delivered that line in the intro, I was like, holy shit, it's Buffybot, you know, like she's just so good at those subtleties of like slight changes and like slight ways that make you understand exactly how the character's feeling. And I think she's one of like the main reasons why I've connected and loved Buffy so much, is like how real her performance or always feels to me. It never feels like a character, it just feels very, very real. I think Willow is doing such a great job being in charge. The fact that she would step up and take care of Dawn, I think to me speaks so loud. You know, she doesn't pass it along to anyone. Like, I don't know. I think her and Tara really, they're like 20-year-olds. And, you know, I understand why Buffy would give up her life for that, you know, for Dawn. And I mean, give up her life, not just literally, but also like, you know, dropping out of college to take care of her and stuff like that. But to have your best friend like love you so much and love your sister so much that she would, because I'm pretty sure Willow must have put her life on hold for this, you know what I mean? Like if Buffy was having a hard time navigating both school and taking care of Dawn, I can't imagine that Willow, you know, I mean, I don't know if Willow dropped out, but I do, like, I do think that Willow's life changes drastically the moment where she decides to move into the summer home. There's just so much love there. I think I undoubtedly felt that love that Willow felt for Buffy. I think that love, and like I said, Dawn's love really stood out to me. And then overall, Giles was the other thing that moved me the most. I do think it's kind of sad that he feels like he has nothing sticking him, you know, to Sunnydale anymore. I feel like that's so wrong, you know. I think he still has the magic box. He has the whole squad, which, like, I know that it's not Buffy, and I know that he was closest to Buffy, but I also think he was such a father figure to Dawn, you know, like 100%. And I think that he is super close with the rest of the squad. And the fact that none of that is enough to keep him there, I think is actually sad. In a way, I understand that, like, grief really clouds your judgments, and I think that sometimes it is good to get out of this environment. Otherwise, you might feel very stuck, and it might be hard to move on. I've definitely heard a saying of, like, you can't heal in the place that, like, broke you, or something like that. So I would understand him needing, like, a break. But this don't feel like a break, you know? This feels very permanent. This feels like he's leaving his entire life behind. And I think that that must have been motivated by guilt, you know? I think he can't look at them in the face because he remembers of Buffy, and I think he feels extremely guilty for how that ended. Even though I think from the start, you know, they've sort of led up to, like, this is what happens, you know, every watcher eventually kind of loses the Slayer, which is very sad. And I know that that's not how the show is going to end. Like, we're fine. They wouldn't actually do this, but it's just hard to know that Giles is coping. I think he's really the sort of person who I think is distancing himself, because I think that, like, Willow and Tara definitely leaned a lot on each other, and Dawn. And I think Xander and Anya also leaned a lot on each other. And Spike on, you know, Dawn, and I guess maybe a little bit the rest of the squad too. I think that they all found a way to cope with this together. And I think that Giles definitely felt like he had to take a step back from them, I think. And I think he's definitely grieving a lot more on his own. And I think that's what, like, leads him to come to this conclusion that he has to leave. And a part of it feels out of character, but a part of it doesn't. Because I was thinking about this, and I was like, would Giles actually just pack his stuff and leave the moment that Buffy is gone? I mean, not the moment. I know it took him, like, 2 to 3 months. But I don't know. I think a part of me would feel like it's out of character because, like I said, he is so close to these characters, but another part of me understands that I think this is mostly grief talking. What is strange is that the squad doesn't try and convince him to stay. And I think that stings even worse because, you know, we have seen Giles want to leave before. This is not, like, news to us. But literally, in 501, God, the fucking references. That's brutal, Buffy writers. That's really mean. You know, in 501, Giles goes through, like, the same thoughts, I would say. But Buffy talks him out of it. And I guess when there's no Buffy, there's nobody talking him into staying. That's really sad. I wonder if he was waiting, you know, especially when they showed up at the airport. I thought they had gone to convince him to stay. And I wonder if he was waiting for somebody to give him a reason to stay, for somebody to convince him. You know, this all just really goes to say, I really, really, really want to believe Giles is not gone from the show. I love him so much. I'm not willing to say goodbye to this character. But, you know, like I said, I'm not stressing about it. I'm not thinking about it, and we're fine. I also want to talk a little bit about the Buffybot. You know, I think that was a very interesting use of her. Like I said, I wasn't expecting it. And I wonder if this means she's gone, though, because I feel like we have seen her break a couple of times. But, you know, Willow has fixed her. This time definitely felt a little bit, you know, I know that they said that it wasn't fixable, and I feel like it is symbolic to have Dawn be there when Buffybot dies. But at the same time, I'm like, no, Willow's gonna find a way. I believe in Willow, like, so much that I really hope she's able to fix Buffybot. But I think what stands out to me about the Buffybot this episode is Spike's reaction to the Buffybot. I think that's the part that really hurts me about all of this. You know, her saying that he can't even look at her. And the fact that, like, you know, the whole Buffybot comes from Spike wanting Buffy to love him back. And then the moment where she's gone, he can't have this Buffybot loving him back, you know, it makes him uncomfortable. I think that, like, first of all, I think this shows a little bit of, like, some character progress in the sense of, like, I think he realizes that the Buffybot was a mistake. I would say he understands that, like, it's not Buffy, so there's no point in having a robot love you because it's just a robot. I feel like it's interesting to see how all of them have different reactions to the Buffybot. I think that Dawn leaned on the Buffybot as, like, a reminder of her sister, and I think it did her good to have the Buffybot around. And I think that even Willow and Tara, the way that they were, like, living with the Buffybot, it felt like they created a dynamic that was really working for them But I think that for Spike, you know, the reminder of Buffy was not something that helped him the same way that I think it might have helped Dawn. And I think this just goes to show that, like, you know, grief works in different ways for different people. You know, sometimes people don't really want to see photos of their loved ones who passed away, and some people really find a lot of comfort in it. I think he wasn't talking about it so much, but you can tell that he's really shaken up about Buffy's death. Which, by the way, reminds me to Buffy asking if this is hell when she wakes up. That's horrible. I wonder if this has to do with, like, I feel like it's mostly because of her being buried alive. Horrible claustrophobic situation, right? But, like, in general, I mean, I guess with the whole pirates, you know, demon pirate monsters or whatever, I do understand why she would think this is hell. I mean, this is not the Sunnydale that she left behind. But, you know, I feel like seeing your friends and your sister and coming back to life, I don't think my first instinct would be to think that this is hell. But at the same time, I feel like she's been through so much that, like, I guess it just goes to show that maybe she doesn't think it's true, that maybe this is, like, you know, hell teasing her and having all her loved ones be there when they're actually not or something. She's quiet for so long and we don't exactly know. We know that she's struggling, but we don't know exactly what's going through her mind. And the fact that what was going through her mind is, like, wondering if she's in hell is really upsetting, because Buffandra, you would never go to hell, like, ever. Please, come on. Like, it's Buffy. Like, she is too good for this world.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
And yeah, in general, about the whole punk, pirates, demons thingies, God, I hate them. You know what I mean? I feel like they were so... I feel like this show does this so well, of, like, bringing in these big bads where, like, I just want to scream at the screen and be like, oh my God, get rid of them. Like, they're ruining everything. You know, I think they do such a good thing of, like, raising the stakes of the show. Overall, I just hate them because they broke the little thingy. And, like, you know, I feel like the moment where... I feel like it makes sense, though, because the moment where they show that they can bring a character back to life, you know, my first thought was, can we try Jenny next? And then the moment where they break it, then you know that, like, they can never do this again, that this was, like, a one-time thing. Because otherwise, we're never going to believe when a character dies on the show, because we'll be like, oh, that's fine, they can just do the same thing again. And so showing that that was broken, I think, was very important to, like, break that cycle and for us to understand that Buffy is a one-time thing, which, like, listen, I'm totally fine with, but, like, could we at least have brought Jenny back first? We could have done that as an experiment. You know, we bring Jenny, and then as long as it works and she's fine, then we could have brought Buffy back, you know, and then they can break whatever, like, it's fine. But it's okay. I mean, Giles would definitely stay if we did that, but it's fine. It's fine. Giles is gonna come back. He's fine. He's just, like, going for a little vacation, and we're gonna respect that, and we're gonna give him some time to grieve, because it's fine. It's fine. I also really enjoyed the dynamics that we explored in this episode, because I feel like they did such great pairings. Like, I loved that, well, not just pairings, but also I really liked that we focused on, like, having Tara, Willow, Anya, and Xander be all together. I feel like that was a really kind of fun group, like a double date kind of thing almost. And I like the way that they split up. Like, I thought it was great to have a little bit more of Xander and Anya, because I think that, like, I love when they have scenes together, because I feel like it's just so season one-ish of, like, the roots of, like, how it all started and those kind of things. And then, of course, having, like, the love interests, I want to say, Anya and Tara, who have honestly become so much more than that. Like, okay, actually, I do need to take a moment and say that Tara was a completely different character this season. I think in season 5, she definitely started feeling like a little bit more than a love interest, but I do think in general, I think she always felt like she was a little bit of, like, a love interest, and, like, that's the reason she's there. Like, to the point where, like, I feel like if Willow, God forbid, but, like, I mean, like, if Willow died, I'm not sure Tara would have stuck there in the same way that, like, if Xander died, I feel like Anya was already part of the squad enough that she would not leave. Does that make sense? God, I hate even saying those things. She really felt like she was mostly there because of Willow. And I feel like this episode kind of showed me that, like, no, if Willow dies, Tara's staying. Like, I think it just showed me that she's in for good. And I think this goes to show from literally the beginning of the episode when they're patrolling, which I think that there was a lot of character progress for Tara, not just in her relationship with Willow, which, like I said, I think they've kind of left the honeymoon phase, which for me, I actually really enjoy, because I think this means that they're getting each time more serious. So I'm really glad that there was so much progress with that, but also with her as a character, because, you know, we saw how easily she was able to do magic, and, like, you know, she can sit down and send Willow a message, and, like, you know, she just, like, did stuff with fire. Like, it's just all coming so naturally to her, and I really, really loved that. I think she felt brand new, and I really like that, because I feel like at the end of the season, you know, we got very, I don't want to say stuck, but, you know, obviously with everything that was happening with Tara, you know, losing her sanity and stuff like that, there were definitely a few episodes where the Willow and Tara storyline wasn't going very far. Like, it definitely felt like we were stuck in a little bit of a loop, I want to say, because there was nowhere to go, because she didn't have her sanity. Like I said, I actually really like looking back on it, because I think it just showed, like, I think it did mature their relationship in the sense of, like, Willow showed how much she loves Tara by, like, caring for her this entire time. I wondered how they were going to continue that relationship, how things were going to work out, and it seems like they really, really did work out, because it feels like they're stronger than ever, and I really appreciate that. But anyways, this goes to say, after the whole Tara spiral, this goes to say that I think they did some amazing pairings this episode with them. Her and Anya, you know, I think that, like, they have all the potential to become really good friends. And also, I keep hoping for the Tara and Buffy friendship. And for a second there in the intro, when I didn't realize it was Buffybot and I thought maybe it was actually Buffy, which, so stupid, but like, listen, for a second I really thought I even had the wrong episode, but it's fine. I was like, oh my god, it's so exciting that Buffy and Tara are fighting together, because this is going to give them like a chance to like bond and talk and become best friends, because I still believe they're going to become best friends. I have such a strong feeling they just have to. And the last thing I want to talk about, going back to Tillo for like the 10th time, but like genuinely, God, I loved them so much this episode, and I think I already spoke about this. I was so worried that we were past, or at least that I felt like maybe I was past my like favorite Tillo moments, just because like, I think I talked about this in Family. Sometimes like the will they, won't they, to me is my favorite part of the story, because it's like, you know, it's so romantic and it's like the beginning and like you feel all the sparks. Obviously the characters are gonna have to like sort of like settle down and get past the honeymoon phase, and I was afraid I've already been through the best moments of Willow and Tara. I kind of thought that like, sure, I'm still gonna love them so much, but maybe like I'm not gonna have the same feelings that I had watching like New Moon Rising, for example. But I think that this episode showed me that there is still so much more to explore in that relationship, and that made me so excited. I think that like the best is still to come. I didn't expect Tara to like help out with all of this, like bringing Buffy back to life. And I think that not only did she support Willow in that, but I think that what is the biggest proof of that to me is that like when they're actually doing the spell, and you know, Xander sort of wants to call it quits because obviously things are not going as well. I feel like in the heat of the moment, I would completely understand if Tara was like, no, we have to stop this. I mean, look at her. You know what I mean? And Willow's not there to like advocate for herself and be like, no, this is what I want. And so I like that Tara's still able to respect Willow's wishes, to know Willow well enough to know that she would go through with this no matter the consequences. And even though I'm sure that like Tara must have been worried sick for like Willow, I like that she still fights through to have Willow's wishes be heard. So I really like that. I like that for them. I think this was you know, a very, very solid season 6 premiere. I am excited. You know, I don't think I'm as scared anymore, so it feels good to be able to like, I think my heart feels lighter after watching these episodes. So I think I'm just mostly excited to see where the storyline is going to go, where the season is going to go. I wonder how much it's going to change now that they're in a new network, you know, because I feel like this still felt very Buffy-ish, which I mean, I don't think they're going to change the whole entirely, but I feel like each season has some changes, and I think I'm just overall excited to see what those changes are going to be for season 6. So yeah, we should read the title of the next episode so that I can make some 100% correct predictions about what's going to happen. The next episode is called Afterlife. Okay. That's interesting. I mean, it makes sense because I do think we're dealing with the afterlife in the sense of, I think the next episode has to be about Buffy coming back into society and how she's going to be dealing with that and coping with the grief and with the trauma of dying. So I think this makes sense. Yeah. I think that has to be my prediction for the next episode. And I hope somebody calls both Giles and Angel to let them know. This is really big news, Willow, so literally call them right now, I beg of you. And I wonder if Willow's still going to be in charge for a bit, you know, because I don't think Buffy's in a place where she can lead the group right now. I think we might still have to see Willow be in charge for a bit while Buffy is able to get herself, I don't want to say back to normal. Like I said, I don't think she's ever going to go back to normal, but while Buffy learns to become whoever she is now. So yeah, I think this is it, guys. Buffy's home. It feels good. And I thank you all so much for watching this with me. And I hope I will see you in the next episode. So stay safe, big hugs, and I'll see you then.